Underground Bunker. This is your proprietor, Tony Ortega. What a surprise we have tonight. Just shocking news out of Clearwater. Thankfully, we have Mark Bunker with us, wise beard man, to help us understand what's going on. Mark, this is just stunning news, isn't it?
It really is. I have to say that we talked about it the other night. I thought it was a done deal that Scientology was getting this street, but David Albritton shocked me by saying no today at the work session. Sarah Heller came in to do a pitch in which she showed the Cleveland Street Alliance video, when what David had asked her to show was the entire hour-long presentation, essentially, that Miscavige gave. And she had no excuse for that. Well, here you go. There's the video. So David said, well, because of this, I'm going to vote no.
All right. Well, let me set it up for those that maybe haven't been following us closely. We've been hearing about this L. Ron Hubbard Hall for years and years. And this is going to be kind of the crown jewel of the flag land base, going to complete things. It's going to sit catty corner from the flag building, this giant performance space. Between them, there's this plot of land that David Miscavige would like to turn into kind of a plaza that he's starting to call L. Ron Hubbard Park. But the problem with that is there's a street down in the middle of that plot of land called South Garden Avenue. And so this is what Miscavige has been asking the council to do, what's called a vacation, and sell that street to Scientology. Now, we started paying attention to this a few weeks ago, and initially there were 3 votes on the council to give Scientology the street. Of the 3 was this David Albritton. And you told me you like him. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Now, the wrinkle was at the very last minute, an alternative proposal came in suggesting that instead of $1.3 million Scientology buying the street to turn it into this plaza for this Vatican they're building, that there was this alternative idea that South Garden Avenue historically was a black business district in Clearwater. And they want to, the folks called the Save the Garden proposal, they want to turn this into instead a park celebrating Clearwater's African American neighborhood. Great idea. Much better than a Scientology shrine, right? And what was interesting was David Albritton at that point joined Mayor Rector and Lena Teixeira of the 3 that decided to table this. Let's take some time. Let's look at the alternative proposal. I have no doubt that freaked out David Miscavige. But then just last week, you had told us that David Albritton went on radio with Sarah Heller, and it sounded like he was all in for Scientology. So that was just last week, Mark. What do you think changed between that last week and what happened tonight when David Albritton switched sides again?
Well, I mean, I can't look into David's soul, and there was a lot of questions about people's souls today at the meeting for some reason. We'll get into that. But, the fact that David was so ecstatic on this radio broadcast with Sarah, I thought, well, he must have gotten what he wanted. Sarah came out and did a pitch for it on this radio show, listened to by at least dozens of people. And and he was all in at that point. And so today I didn't go to the meeting. I watched it live here from home through the live stream. But there were a lot of people there. A lot of people, especially who were there for backing the Save the Garden group. A lot of folks from the African American community. And what stunned me the most is just how nasty it got between Mike Mancino, Mike, no, that's not his name, Mike Menino, and
Menino, yeah.
Steve Ryan, with the head of this organization, not the African American organization, but the Save Garden group. Menino was saying,
Brooks,
yeah, yeah. I can't think of his name, Brooks. Anyway, and saying, "You're using the African American community, aren't you? You're
Wow.
really just ripping him apart for because there's one person who apparently said, "I don't want you to use the family name, or we don't agree with it." And so that became the basis for this attack. That, oh my God, you're just using this because you hate Scientology. And all three of these people, Mike, Ryan, and Brooks, all deeply religious people, all kind of going into this. I can't look into your soul, but I'm looking into your soul, and it's dark. Uh, it's like what? So that was a really interesting tangent to it all. And that was just some lashing out because they could see, oh my God, that this may not be going our way, as far as the council members were going. Um, and I've seen a kind of arrogance and nastiness out of Ryan and Mike that are kind of surprising to me.
Mm.
I never really saw any of that when I was on the council. The other council members may have said, Bunker, he's a monster. I don't think I was, but, we were always civil. Um, at any rate, it was an interesting discussion that took up almost 2 hours. Um, I've been trimming it down a little bit to put up some video without, removing, the juicy parts, the parts that are important. But that was a real side issue that took up a big chunk of time. Just questioning the fact that these people who are trying to sabotage this grand and glorious L. Ron Hubbard Hall and Park with this, nonsense. That was pretty offensive, and I'm sure they'll be equally offended that I kind of framed it that way. But that's the way I saw it. At any rate, there were some really great comments from Lena Teixeira, who was a no vote all along, and the mayor also had some strong things to say. Essentially, what happened is David said, listen, you did not come forward with what I wanted you to come forward with. And because of that, I'm going to say no. And it
Now,
was
and let me say,
quite a startling thing.
he's talking about Thursday's vote. The actual vote is on Thursday, and
Right.
he is saying tonight on Monday night that he plans to vote no, and he's saying it's because they have not come forward with the plans he's asked for. So I have two questions for you, Mark Bunker. If David Albritton is saying he's not going to vote for the Scientology sale on Thursday, does that necessarily mean that the Save the Garden proposal is now leading, or is it separate from that? And second of all, what's going to keep David Miscavige from tomorrow and Wednesday inundating Albritton with plans to make him change his mind that they have come through with what he's asked for, so that Thursday Albritton will flip flop again? What do you think?
Well, that is certainly a possibility, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think what would have to happen is Thursday night, Miscavige shows up in public and goes to the podium and says, "Listen, here's the entire 1 hour pitch. Let's do it." Is that going to happen? No, it's not going to happen. Um, there is always the possibility that something could come up in the next couple of days, and then Thursday, David will say, "Well, I guess I will say yes." I don't think that will happen. Certainly, no one on the council thought that was going to happen. It really seemed like everyone was accepting the fact that this is dead. The general consensus was, oh, and this is the one thing that shocked me the most out of Sarah. There was a question at one point. So, the Cleveland Street improvements to all the businesses, is that contingent on Scientology getting Garden Street? And she said yes. So, if the city was not going to give them Garden Street, they're not going to give Clearwater the thriving downtown that they've been promising. And that to me was the most important moment in this entire meeting. They're holding the downtown hostage. That's the that's the only reason that Miscavige since 2017 has been saying, "You give me what I want, and I'll give you a bustling, thriving downtown." Because of course that's what I want. I want it for my people. I'm tired of busing all the Scientologists over to Tampa or wherever. We want to have a thriving downtown. Well, do you? Do you really? Well, what's stopping you? And that was my message when I was on the council. You've got everything you need. Do it. Prove that you can be a partner, and then we can work with you. But once again, they just came out and said, we want what we want. And if you don't want to give us a street, yeah, too bad about your little downtown. Because they're still going to, even though they said, "Oh, we have to have Garden Street in order to do L. Ron Hubbard Hall in the park. We can't do it without Garden Street." That was the pitch today. They're going to do it. They're going to put up the hall. They're going to build a park. There'll be a street through the middle of it. That's okay. But it just gives Miscavige a number of extra years to be raising money. Because now he doesn't have this timetable of, well, we have to have it done by 2032, or it's going to be $300,000 in chump change every year to postpone building the hall. Now he can just sit back and go, we're under attack. We thought we got rid of Bunker and we got rid of all of our problems, but no, the city of Clearwater hates us and they won't work with us, and we try everything we can to partner with them, and look how they treat us. And this is the thing that really amazed me when I was on the council. I would hear from the city manager after she talked to Miscavige, or the chairman. He feels that he is treated so terribly by Clearwater. Yeah, right. Clearwater's treating Miscavige poorly.
I just see that Brooks Gibbs has joined us. Brooks, thank you.
Oh, man.
Forgot I spaced on your last name for a second. And maybe you could type the answer for us. If Al Britton does not vote for the Scientology proposal Thursday night, could the council vote for the Save the Go proposal, or are we kind of back to square one on Thursday night? What's the situation with that? Do you know, Mark Bunker? Oh,
well, my understanding is from all the comments afterwards, they want the street to remain a street. The rest of the folks on the council, especially the mayor and Lena, are saying this is an important street for the town. We don't want to be obstructing traffic on it. So probably they will say, no, we don't want to take one lane out of it for the museum either. If I were David Miscavige, first, I'd set everybody free. But then I'd also say, well, that idea for the Garden Avenue tribute park, let's do that ourselves. Let's work with you, and we'll make it even bigger, grander thing. And I tell you what we can do. The North Greenwood CRA is alive and working on reviving the entire Greenwood neighborhood. We're going to give $1 million donation to that because we're good neighbors. Really? No, of course not. He's not interested in any of that stuff. He wants his hall. He wants his street. He wants his L. Ron Hubbard Park, this monstrosity that's going to be now the gateway to downtown Clearwater. So we've had enough damage done. I don't think that that Brooks' project is going to be going up there, but I have a really good hunch that he's going to be able to create something spectacular with the group that will even be better than having to be forced to be in front of L. Ron Hubbard Hall.
Well, what a turnaround! What a shock! I'm just stunned. And again, I'm wondering what Miscavige will try to do between now and Thursday's vote to make Al Britton change his mind yet again. Again, what Al Britton complained about was that they have not showed the plans, and that's kind of an easy thing for Miscavige to do, right? Oh, I wanted to
Well,
ask you this.
you would think it'd be.
Uh, you think it'd be easy. Well, you got that leaked audio that we posted, which shows they clearly know every single square inch of that hall and what's going in there. Do you think Al Britton heard about that footage or heard about that description and that added to his frustration?
No, I don't think that had anything to do with it, really. Uh, I think he initially said, tell the whole plan to the city, so I don't have to keep trying to justify myself for supporting it. I want you to come and show everybody else what I saw, so they can understand why I might vote yes for it. And Miscavige said, "Why bother?" So I have to thank Dave, as I did. I sent him an email to thank him so much for making that decision. I think it's the right one. Um, as I said, he's a really good man, and I I I hate to sound negative about Ryan and Mike. I'm just always kind of amazed by, like, Brooke. I was talking about the horrific treatment you got from Menino, especially at the meeting today. It was just outrageous. Uh, um, the Save the Garden folks have done a spectacular job, and they were slandered unjustly. The the one person who has to take the blame for this outcome is Miscavige.
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
Yeah, Miscavige is
All right. Well,
the
Mark,
sole reason. Yeah, go ahead.
well, listen, I'm really looking forward to the video you're putting together. We're going to post this conversation right away. I want to get it up, and congratulations to Brooks Gibbs for causing so much chaos that obviously Clearwater's found a little spine. Congratulations, Clearwater. Let's see if they go through with this on Thursday. Thank you very much, Mark Bunker. We'll see you soon.
Bye.